Good evening and welcome to the show. Good to see you from wherever you're watching us. Tonight, I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, it's a lovely Thursday. It's going to be a variety Thursday. There's a lot to talk about. We'll try to spice things up all for you. Tonight on the show, there's going to be a lot of cricket. There's going to be some basketball in there, local football on the domestic scene. Hopefully, we'll link up with one of the coaches of our teams playing Continental Club competition. Hopefully, we'll get to talk with one of them on the show as we move on. As we speak, match is currently going on in the Europa League. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about the never-ending story of Diego Maradona. He's been laid to rest, but of course, there's still some things in the news about Diego Maradona. We'll do that for you on the show as well. So that's the outlook of the show today. Promises to be exciting, and we'll do our best to make it worth your while. We'll be here to do our best to entertain and educate and inform you all together at the same time. So that's the outlook of the show. Let me quickly introduce my partner. He's going to be with me from start to finish. A lot of you know him. It's been a while since he's been on this show, but when he's here, you know there's going to be cricket when you see him. And of course, he's an all-rounder. He's going to be talking about a whole lot of things. Seun Ajitegbe joins me. Seun, it's good to have you on the show with me tonight.
Yemi, Happy New Year's.
Yes, yeah, I know.
It's a pleasure to be back home.
Yeah.
Channel is always home.
Yeah.
And I'm delighted to be here this evening. Like you said, plenty of cricket. We're excited. The boss is here. And we'll talk about quite a number of things. Football and every other thing.
All right. So that's it. All right. So let's just dive straight into what we have for you tonight. Let's start with basketball and the ambitious plan by the Sports Ministry led by Sunday Dare, the Minister for Youth and Sports Development. He says that the federal government is planning to build one basketball court in each senatorial district across the country. That sounds like a very ambitious plan and a very good one at that if it's executed. The minister says the project will be in partnership with the Nigeria Basketball Federation. That's the NBBF. He also states that the template for the running, funding and implementation of the project will be out by January 2021. It promises that under his watch, basketball will witness a revolution that will transcend the national team, centered on objective grassroots basketball development. Seun, I don't know about you, but this is good to hear. We've always talked about 2020 and the Olympics presents us a unique opportunity where we are talking about multi-sport events and football is not in the mix. It gives us the opportunity to look at a whole lot of other things. But this ambitious plan, I'm calling it ambitious because I know it's very good. If at the end of the day we get to have this in each senatorial district, I mean, it will definitely aid the growth of basketball in Nigeria.
Definitely. You know, I've always said that English has its own facets. There's one between approve, release, and disburse. So if you are muting this idea, for me, it's fantastic.
Yeah, sure.
Execution is most important. My complaint has always been that the successes we have enjoyed from the Tigers and the Tigers have not had a ripple effect on what is happening locally.
Yes, that's true.
You want to make a case for the guys here to be part of the Tigers and the Tigers, but you ask yourself, the league is in comatose, it's non-existent. So you don't blame Alex Nwora those days or a Mike Brown.
Not looking in their direction.
Not looking in their direction, because you ask yourself, when was the last time we had a functional league? The league is divided. And so if you have in the NBA 84 games in the regular season before you even get to playoffs, you see that number of games players are engaging themselves in, and there's nothing happening here. You ask yourself, how would the coach look at you? We have the Tigers raised the bar at the World Cup. They got to the quarterfinals. The Tigers currently are a stronghold when it comes to basketball. I know the last time we went to the World Cup, we didn't get out of the group. But you look at the margin between us and America. And so when you get to the Olympics in 2021, if you get a favorable draw, you can rest assured that we would go far.
But what I'm saying is, I understand your skepticism.
Yeah.
And I agree to a certain degree. But I'm saying, aside implementation, execution, and muting the idea, if this sees the light of the day, if it does, then you have to agree that it will aid the growth of basketball. Right?
Definitely, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I've always said that one of the reasons we are sliding down in sport is because we don't have policies that are put in place. Do we have talent in Nigeria? Yes.
Absolutely.
We have. The ones that can match the Jamaicans when it comes to athletics, the ones that can match the South Africans when it comes to athletics. But what don't we have? Administratively, we have not gotten it right. In England, I keep saying this thing, in Crystal Palace, there's a place called Selhurst Park. They have a program called 8 Years to Podium, which meant that we will train you for 8 years and you will be on the podium of the Olympics, winning laurels. So if we have these things in place, it's going to have a positive effect on our basketball. And I feel that I will be excited if this sees the light of it, because we have talent abound. We have talent abound. If they have the enabling environment and the right atmosphere to really showcase their talent, of course, the sky will just be their starting point.
All right, so that's how we start the show today. That piece of news from basketball and the efforts of the minister to, like some would say, spread the love, spread the love, let it not all be football. Hopefully, it gets the light of the day, sees the light of the day, and things work. All right, let's go on and talk about football, what's happening on the domestic scene. We started the series, Know Your Club, in anticipation of the start of the new season in the Nigeria Professional Football League. We don't know when that will start because there are conflicting reports, but that will not stop us on the show to continue with that series, Know Your Club. And tonight, who do we have? We have the People's Elephant, ENYIMBA. That's the name of the club we're looking at. Founded in 1976, nicknamed People's Elephant. Some will say they are Aba Elephants, whichever one you like. Their home ground is the ENYIMBA International Stadium in Aba. The Twitter handle, Sean, we've always flogged some of these guys. They're not active on social media.
Yes.
They're not putting out information.
Yes.
You look for information you don't get. Sometimes you get conflicting. Your coach tells you one thing and another person tells you another thing. But some of these clubs are gradually beginning to understand that it's essential to have all of this. And ENYIMBA has their own Twitter handle right there on your screen. If you want to know anything about ENYIMBA, that's where to go. ENYIMBA FC, that's the Twitter handle. And you have all the other things about the club. We're still going to go back to that, but let me just quickly show they've been busy. The fact that the league has not started didn't stop them. They've recruited these players. Let me just reel out their names. And I know some are people you know very well.
Yeah.
You have Basa Jerry from Cotton Sport Garoua. You have Nabil Yaru, that's foreign export. Tosin Moyele from Plateau United. You have Anthony Omaka from Sunshine Stars. Sadiq Abubakar from Heartland. Hassan Abubakar from Wiki Tourist. Samad Kadri from Low B Stars. I mean, you want to say that they've recruited well. Okay, let's quickly finish on because I'll touch upon this one. Coach Fatai Osho, Captain Austin Oladapo, Administrator Amin, many years, needs little or no introduction. Felix Ayes Yago, synonymous with all the success that ENYIMBA has, had in recent. But your thoughts on ENYIMBA, one of the clubs that do make us proud anytime.
Let me guess what?
Yeah.
I support ENYIMBA.
Okay. I've
been following ENYIMBA since 1999.
Yeah.
And those good old days of Eric Ejiofor, Seyi Ogunsanya, the Cat, Dele Ayenugba, Muri Ogunbiyi, David Tiakase.
Yeah, all those guys.
You can continue to mention them. And you can't say anything less about arguably one of the biggest clubs in Nigeria. By extension, Africa. But of course, we faltered a bit. And that's why we are where we are. ENYIMBA should be rubbing shoulders with the Al-Alis of this world, the Esperance, the Zamalek, the Mamelodi Sundowns.
Let me just put you on hold. Fatai Osho is online. Let's just have this conversation. Wanted to have him with us in the studio, but logistics didn't allow. But Coach, greetings to you. It's good to have you join us today on the show.
Good evening.
All right, so let's dive straight into it, Coach. Your reaction of all the clubs that represented us on the continent, ENYIMBA seem to be the one that have a result that gives most of the fans confidence of the team's ability to progress to the next round. How does that make you feel?
Yes, we are happy with our results. It doesn't really come that easy. I mean, looking at the Raimo team we play, they are a very good football team. They move the ball very well, and they have good team chemistry among them. And it was not really easy. We really have to. We know what was coming our way, and we are actually prepared. We prepared so well going against them. The last time we were there, it was not easy. Although we lost that particular encounter last year, but we know how good they were, and this time around we are quite prepared. And looking at the other Nigerian representatives, we shouldn't rule them out. They still have a very bright chance of qualifying, because this is a two-legged affair. I mean, a team you can even look at the Plateau United. Nothing stop them from going to Tanzania and get results. I mean, this continental football, you can go to that place and get results. I mean, Rivers United still stand a very good chance of progressing. A 2-0 win for Canopilla will see them in the next round. So the Nigerian team, we are still in a very good position to progress. Only that those victories send panic to the majority of Nigerians.
Okay, Coach, let me ask you, in defense of the teams representing Nigeria on the continent, a lot of people have said, look, the league has not started, these guys are not playing competitive matches, and it's affecting. What's your view about that? You think with the fact that the season, the league season hasn't started, you think it is responsible for those results, or it shouldn't be an excuse?
No, I'll be honest with you. If the league is on, it would have been a very big plus for us. I mean, look at like now we went there. I mean, put some combination together, and you might realize at the end of the day when you are into 2, 3, 4 matches, you can end up realizing that that's not even your best combination of players on the field of play. And we are doing this at the peak of competition. But if the league is on, all these experiments will have be able to see them. I mean, there's a huge difference between playing competitive football and preseason competition. There's a lot of gap. I mean, sometimes the level of position you come across is not the same when you play, I mean, the NPFL or the continental football compared to preseason competition. So if we can redesign, I mean, this goes to the LMC. If they can look at it from that angle and see what we can do, even beyond COVID, I mean, for this year, there has been like it's a recurring decimal in our football that every year like that, most Nigerian team goes into continental football without the league being on. The Raimo will play. They should be playing that with 13 match that weekend. Is because ENYIMBA is playing them that they couldn't play that particular match. With 13, look at that. You can see the number of teams they will have gone through. A lot of correction will have been done. They will have realized, okay, if I play A and B together, it's not the best for me. I need to play A and C together. You understand? These are the things you gain when you are in thick of competition, and it will really prepare those teams, and you are not prone to you are not exposed to unnecessary errors like that. It will really help our football if we can look at it, I mean, holistically, and come up with a concept where our league will be on before all continental competitions.
All right, Coach. In spite of all you have said, a club as big as ENYIMBA, there will always be aspirations. There will always be targets set. I don't want to ask you about the target the club has set, because that may be personal between you and the club, and you might not want to reveal that. But for yourself, what was the target for this season? In spite of all you have said, in spite of all the challenges, in spite of COVID-19 ravaging the season, in spite of all the things that may appear like excuses, what are your personal targets for the club this season?
And my personal target cannot be different from what ENYIMBA has in mind. ENYIMBA is one of the few teams in Africa. We are second position. It's a failure. If you are here, you have to win today, win tomorrow, win next tomorrow. You have to keep winning. And that's something I enjoy here, because they want you to win every now and then. And if as a coach you are winning, what happened to you? You are creating a very good platform for yourself to launch yourself to greater heights. My personal target, I want to win it. ENYIMBA, they want to win it. Because if we don't win it, somebody else will come up and win it. Why not? Why must we sell ourselves out? We can't do that. It's not really ideal. Every team in that competition, the reason why they are there is to be champion. And we can't be an exception in that area. We must have ambition. No ambition can be too much. And when you talk of big teams in Africa, there's no way they count. You will mention ENYIMBA. I can't even go to Champions League and say, okay, they're just there to make up the number. That's not an ideal thing for me. I don't think that's right. And from day one, I've made this abundant from my first training. Before my first training, I make it abundantly clear to the players. I personally have no business in the Confederations Cup. We have to play in the champion and represent the country very well. So whenever we stretch them, they know the reason why we are doing these things. Because we want to put ourselves in the situation we find ourselves last Sunday in Burkina Faso. We want to be winners. So I mean, it's just a normal thing that you go to competition and you aspire to win it, and that can't be too much for action.
All right, Coach. Before I let you go, let me just throw this one in. You are in what some people consider to be an enviable position. You have a lot of good players. You have a lot of players that some coaches would have loved, to have in their squad. But I'm going to ask you this: are you still looking to bring in more players, or you're satisfied with the ones that you have? As it stands, some of us believe that ENYIMBA already has a large squad. But I don't know about you. Do you just want to bring in players, or it's okay?
I don't have to answer that. For people who are conversant with me, they know I'm used to working with young players, right from Remo Stars, Supreme Court, all those young boys coming out of secondary school and playing DNN. And getting to ENYIMBA, so I was spoiled for choice, working with talented, big talent, and the job became fairly much easier. Because I'm used to working with secondary school boys, playing the NNL. And when you bring such quality to me, it makes my job easy, very, very easy, and convenient for me to do the job. I'm so comfortable doing this.
Okay. All right. So we leave it at that. Although you've not told us whether or not you want to have more players, but I'll let you rest. Maybe some other time.
I've answered that. I have more than enough.
Okay. All right, Coach Fatai, I want to thank you for your time on the show today. It was always nice having you speak to us.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
All right. So that's Coach of the Aba Elephants, Fatai Osho, speaking to us and telling us a lot of things. Sean, you listen to him. I like the way he sounds.
Yeah.
I must say. I like the way he's been able to communicate what he wants, what the club demands from him, and what he wants from the players. In spite of the challenges that are there, nobody's going to listen to that. You still have to deliver.
You have to deliver, especially for a team that's won the CAF Champions League back-to-back, 2003, 2004, Kadri Kana and, of course, Okie Modi, respectively. I've always said that, unfortunately, when they won this competition, there was no FIFA World Club Cup. That's the bigger gain. That I need to see a Nigerian team win the CAF Champions League and then go ahead to represent Africa.
And mix with the big boys. Especially now that they want to extend more clubs. It's going to be more glamorous, more money.
Go and look at Tiapuzo Mazembe. They've played in the FIFA World Club Cup. At one point in time, they went as far as playing in the final before they lost to Inter Milan. So I wish we have a Nigerian team. And I've always said,
all the way.
United Nations win the CAF Champions League. And when I mean United Nations, is bringing experienced players
all over
from the continent. Like I always say, it's also business. You win a CAF Champions League game, it's $10,000. Each goal you score is $1,000. So when you do that mathematical calculation, you promote someone 7-0, that's $17,000 already waiting for you. And as you progress from one stage to another, it's a geometric progression. In terms of money. That's true. All right, so let's leave it at that for now. We need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll take a little pause on football. We'll dive straight into cricket. Then when we're done, there'll be a lot for you of sports tonight. Join us again. Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, we've been talking about our clubs on the continent, the ambitious plan by the Sports Ministry to ensure that you have basketball courts in all
senatorial districts in Nigeria. That's we also spoke with the coach of the Aba Elephants, Walter Shaw, sharing his thoughts with us on all of the things that have happened recently. When we started the show, I called it a variety Thursday, and that's what it is. We have Shehu Ajidagwa in the house, and when he's here, there's going to be cricket in the house as well. So let's go straight into it. Shehu, let's talk about what has just happened. I think it happened on Monday. Yes. The Nigeria Cricket Federation announced the hiring of Asanka Gurusingha as the new coach of the senior team, and it's also going to be a performance director for the. But let me ask you how, before I talk about the guys, read out his resume, but as an individual, somebody who follows cricket, loves Nigerian cricket, how did you receive the news?
I've heard about this story long ago.
Okay.
But of course, I was supposed to keep it under wraps.
Okay.
Till the T's were crossed and the I's were dotted. And like I've always said, in cricket, we are Amaka, we don't disappoint.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
in local palace.
Yeah, we had to get a World Cup winner.
Yeah.
We had to get a World Cup winner. Mm-hmm. For those who don't know, he has a tongue-twisting name.
Yeah.
His real names are Deshabandu Asanka Pradid Gurusingha.
Just like names like MS Dhoni.
Yes.
Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Names like that. Tongue twister. I understand. Yeah.
He's a World Cup winner. Mm-hmm. He's from Sri Lanka. Had an 11-year...
part of the 1996 winning squad.
1996. They were underdogs. Mm-hmm. Nobody gave them a chance, but they went to that World Cup and they won.
I think he's a left-hander too.
He's a left-hand batsman, mm-hmm. but right medium pace bowler.
All right.
That's a shocking thing. So
that kind of combination.
He's ambidextrous. Mm-hmm. He had an 11-year stint with the Sri Lanka national team.
Yeah.
He has once been their selector for the Sri Lanka national team.
Yep.
Of course, also a Sri Lankan Australian sales manager. Mm-hmm. Had 41 test matches.
Yeah.
And of course, 147 one-day internationals. But he would always look back at 1996, precisely March 17, 1996, at the Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore. Mm-hmm. That's in Pakistan.
Yeah.
When favorites, Australia, under the captainship of Mark Taylor, taking on a certain Sri Lanka, under the captaincy of Arjuna Ramatunga. He won the toss on that day, and he said, Australia, go and bat. And they went to bat. And guess what? They chased them down, and they got that victory. Mm-hmm. Big credit on the day must go to our new coach, Deshabandu Asanka Pradid Gurusingha.
It's good. It's good we are going down memory lane. But what do you say to people who try to question his coaching? What was the word?
Ability.
No, coaching credentials. You can't question somebody's coaching because there are facts, but his credentials. He's a level 3 coach. Some of this. How do you defend that?
So I've always said that there's a difference between playing and, of course, coaching.
Yeah.
That a good player does not necessarily
translate
make
into
a good coach.
Sure.
But if you have been at the highest level and you have worked with superstars, mm-hmm. then there's nothing to suggest that you will not
be able
well.
to do it. Yeah.
Let me give you instances. The Pep Guardiola today that we all revere, we all knew where he started from. Mm-hmm. Zidane failed in flying colors for the Real Madrid Castilla.
Yeah.
But he has done what no coach has ever done in the world to win 3 Champions League
back-to-back
in succession. Look at the coach that I am saying from this position that will win the best coach of the year, Hansi Flick, the coach of Bayern Munich. He was a nobody. He was assisting Niko Kovac. Mm-hmm. And they just said, once we relieve you of your duty, Niko Kovac, you, Hansi Flick, do what we call occupy till I come.
Yeah.
Till we get a better coach.
Somebody.
And see what he has turned Bayern Munich into. So, that is a level 3 coach. Is not... But because he has played at the highest level, mm-hmm. and he has won the biggest honors in cricket, don't forget that he's also going to be a high performance director.
Yeah.
So what they have successfully done at the Nigerian Cricket Federation is to get somebody that will transform the cricket participation in Nigeria. Now, I give you what he's going to be doing. All other things being equal, on the 8th of this month, he will be unveiled in Abuja. He has started work, and they've invited 36 players to camp in Abuja. The camp starts on the 6th of this month till the 20th. What they want is, they want the coach to have a feel of some of our players.
Yeah.
This will not be, it's not as if this will be the final, because what they want to do is they want to play what we call a triangular series. That means they divide those 12 players into 3. That makes 36. So you have your team 12, 12, 12, and you now play with one another. And the coach will then see the guys that we have.
That is going to work.
So so when they break on the 20th, people go for National Sports Festival, and then they'll also look at players also who went for that you have been invited to come and work with Asanka. It's not a given that you are already in the national team. It's not that they just don't want the coach to lie fallow.
Yeah.
That's why they are inviting these players. So when they break, they go for National Sports Festival. If they find talent, because cricket is about statistics, what you do in the bowling, what you do in the batting, and what you do in the fielding, and as a wicket keeper. So they look at all those statistics to give the selectors reason why they have to invite people.
All right, so all of that is shaping up to be very good for... let's talk about the ambitions of the Nigerian Cricket Federation. I think I said on this show on Monday, it's always good when you have the best of coaches, provided the suitable environment for the coach to work is something else. But I have to give them credit. They have... If I get to somebody like this, it's a statement of intent. I give them credit for that. But I just hope that down the line, Asanka will have everything that he needs so that we don't start hearing stories. I think it was a rugby coach, one of the rugby coaches brought to Nigeria, the stories weren't good. But I hope this won't be the case.
I hope so, because I know the kind of federation. Prior to coming into the studio, I was talking to somebody who is incorporated in the technical committee of the Nigerian Cricket Federation, who is also the players' representative on the board. I mean, Endurance of Fame, played cricket to the highest level. You know, we spoke at length, and he was telling me that, hey, we had to do this because we knew what we wanted for ourselves. We want to live where we are and be rubbing shoulders with the big boys. Oh. At least get into Division 3, because, you know, we have to start from somewhere. Yeah. In life, you crawl, you sidestep, and then you walk.
Just keep moving.
We want to keep moving, and so they want to give the coach all the enabling environment to work. But I also made him understand that you can't get a big coach and then don't do the basic. It's just like someone who spent all his savings on wedding, which is some hours. Yeah. And then you don't take care of the marriage.
You don't plan for the marriage.
So I said, we must have what we call a synergy. You've gotten a big coach, but let's invest heavily in our league here and ensure that players play consistently. Yeah. And then the coach can then say, oh, because we've once brought a foreign coach also, sometimes in 2018, one of the best bowlers of all time, Makiana Ntini from South Africa. You know, he worked with the players, and the players learned one or two things from somebody who has played at the highest level. So I'm sure they're going to learn quite a lot from Asanka. And this will also make the players want to give their all. We've got quite a number of talents in Nigeria. I can start listing them. You know, Tunde Yusuf, Obeis, Ademolodi Koyi, Leke Oyede, you know, Cheye Olympio, you know, a long list of them who will benefit. Because once you are looking at him, you are looking at a cult hero. Yeah. You are looking at a World Cup winner. And you are looking at someone who has played at the highest level. And so you want to be like him.
All right, all right. You know what? We can go on and on. But let's talk about what you were telling me while we were off camera, age grade competitions under 17, under 19. Give us the tidbits so we can move on and go talk about global cricket.
Okay, so under 17, there's going to be a qualifiers before the main tournament. But the first thing they call it turn the heat on, is for states. So November 27 was when they confirmed states participation. That has been concluded. So we're going to December 13 now, which is players' eligibility. Because what they are trying to do is under 17 players below 17.
Yeah.
You must not bring any overage player because that state will be banned from cricket. And I continue to say that one of my project topic at master's level was psychological implication of age falsification on transitional growth of football development in Nigeria, which meant that we have succeeded at under 17. We are the most successful, but it has not transcended into under 20.
At the national
Our
level.
biggest achievement has been in 1989 and 2005, where we only got to the final. We have never won it. So why can't we have that geometric progression? So what they are trying to say is that you must not bring any overage player. So by December 13, they will screen the players to see that these are
Before
players
within the
who
age
are
bracket.
eligible to play that under 17. And on December 22, they will also confirm the team registration, the deadline. And then we will now go into the main tournament proper, the qualifiers in January. All of that things being equal. January 7 to 11 will be for the female qualifiers. Then from 14 to 17 will be for the male qualifiers. So when they are done from 14 to 17 for the male and female qualifiers, you know, theirs is 7 to 11, then 14 to 17 for the male. Then we'll now go into the final championship itself. And the final championship for the female is January 21st to 24th, while for the male will be 27 to 31st, 2021. So
All
that's
right.
for the under 17. Is for the states. So this is how they want to go. Then we also go to the next one very quickly, which is the under 19. The under 19, don't forget, we are defending champion. And I'm still owing Nigerians a pledge that I failed to fulfill. And I'm promising them that by God's grace, before the year runs out, I'm going to fulfill it. Because I made this pledge. Mind what you wish for. That's what they say. When we're going for that qualifiers that led us to qualify for the World Cup in South Africa in 2019, I said it that Nigeria can never qualify because we were in Division 2, we scaled through Division 2 and got to Division 1. Now, we had teams who were ranked higher than us and were better than us in terms of preparation. And I said, the three teams that are gaining promotion from Division 2 to Division 1 will just go there and just be there. Tanzania, Sierra Leone, and Nigeria. Nigeria was autumn favorite from Division 2. And when we got to Division 1, we met teams like Uganda, Kenya, Namibia. Namibia were the defending champion, they were the hosts, and they were five-time champions. So Nigeria, I just said, Nigeria cannot qualify because it was just one slot out of those 6. And I said, if Nigeria qualifies, I was going to sweep Third Milan Bridge.
Oh, okay.
And
You've not done it yet.
I will do it. Before the year runs out, it's going to be a global sweeping. Because I did not envisage Nigeria qualifying. Nigeria beat Uganda, beat Kenya, beat Namibia, beat Tanzania, beat Sierra Leone, and got that sole ticket to go to the Under-19 World Cup with some relatively young players, the Samuel Limbas of this world, and all the other boys.
All right.
So what we are saying is that there's also a qualifier coming up for the next World Cup. Nigeria is meeting the idea of hosting, but we wait for ICC Africa to give us that nod.
Yeah.
But the improvement we are enjoying now is that we are working on 5 different tough wickets in Abuja, in Lagos, and everywhere. And once we have that, it improves our cricket because we can't be playing on concrete in Nigeria and then go overseas and face tough wickets.
It won't work.
That narrative has changed because at TBS, you have a tough wicket. At Unilag, they are working on a tough wicket. At Abuja, they have 2 tough wickets. In Edo, they have a tough wicket.
All right.
So I think that for me is really exciting.
Okay, all right. So before I came into the studio, as I usually do, I checked the cricket rankings.
Yeah.
Top 10. And 2 African nations there. South Africa 6th, Zimbabwe 10. Before we even go global, at what point do you think we can close in on the gap? Those 2, because as far as the ICC is concerned, those are the 2 best cricket-playing nations in Africa. So currently, what's the gap like, and what can we do to close in that gap?
The gap is wide.
Very wide.
Because we have test-playing countries, we have associate countries, and we have affiliate countries. Nigeria is still an associate country. We have not attained the height of a test-playing country. When you see people put on colored attire, they play what we call the one-day international, and they use a white ball. But when you see them put on white, and then they use a red ball, they are playing test matches. And it spans longer time than even the one-day international. So those Zimbabwe that you see play test matches. Those South Africa that you see play test matches. So we need to first attain that level. Even see how we can get to Division 5, Division 4, Division 3, Division 2, Division 1 before we start rubbing shoulders with the big boys. it will take a longer time. But if we do the right things,
Like some of the things
like
we're
some of
currently
the things
doing.
that currently do, we will get there. The only team that I think can rub shoulder with the big boys, the Australians, the Englands, the Indians, the Pakistanis, and the Sri Lankans, is South Africa. But guess what? Yemi, why South Africa will not succeed is because they are still doing this rub my back, I rub your back. They are not just in the way they select players. South Africa should have won the World Cup for Africa. I can continue to mention the number of talent that they have churned out.
Surely.
As we speak, they still have a good team. Kagiso Rabada, Lungi, Quinty de Kock, Faf du Plessis, Robbie Van Dusen. You know, you can continue to mention them. But what is their biggest problem? Their biggest problem is that they choke when it gets to
When
that
it matters
big
most.
When it matters most, they choke. And we say, when will South Africa get to that? In actual fact, as I speak to you, they have a batsman that is very, very good. His name is Shamsi. Very good batsman. Just like I will mention one name that you need to watch out for in cricket now. He plays for India. His name is Adik Pandya.
But they did well recently against England in was it the 2020 format?
England taught them a cricket lesson. England taught them a cricket lesson in South Africa. Thanks to Malan and the Just Butler of this world. They beat them. They, as in, you know where they say they calm down to beat someone? They calm down to beat South Africa. They beat them well. As in, well. And so the other one that also struck me was Australia versus India.
Yeah.
That one was a 3 ODI series. Australia won that one 2-1. Steve Smith played back-to-back centuries.
Cricketer who is back.
See,
that's
what I'm saying, that sometimes there are some things that you in sport and exercise psychology, we say you hate the game, you don't hate the player, because you need the player to achieve results in the game. This was the same Steve Smith that was engulfed in a ball tampering incident in South Africa.
He was
himself,
demonized.
Cameron Bancroft, and David Warner. You know, they engaged in that shameful act, but you cannot take away the
And a lot of people
Steve
didn't
Smith.
want them to be forgiven.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, whatever punishment is being served, they're back.
Let me also tell you one of the reasons England won the Cricket World Cup. That's the first time in the history of Cricket World Cup that a team will win a World Cup final in a super over. England is the team that has lost the final the most. They've lost 4 finals before they eventually won in 2019. Guess what they did? They spread across. They forgot about sentiment and they put in objectivity. They had players like Moeen Ali, Adil Rashid, who were Muslims. They had Geoffrey Archer. Geoffrey Archer was not supposed to go because people were saying he's not originally from England.
Yeah.
But they looked at the bigger picture. And one of the reasons they won the World Cup was because of Geoffrey. Ben Stokes went to fight in a nightclub, did all sorts of things, but they looked at the bigger picture, and that's the reason they won the World Cup.
I agree with you always about England. But we need to go on a break now. And when we return from that break, whatever few minutes we have left, we'll take a look at what is happening in the Europa League, spare thought for the issues surrounding late Diego Maradona, and some other few things. But that's when we return from this break. Once again. Welcome back. So we're on the home stretch now. So quickly, let's get it out of the way. Diego Maradona, the inquest. A lot of people felt this man has died. Let's just let it rest. But a lot of people still want to understand the circumstances surrounding that and all of the issues. I don't know. But what do you think?
It's rather unfortunate.
Yeah.
One out of the boy, who is the 6th child, came out to say, Maradona gave birth to me. Exhume the corpse and then do what you're supposed to do. You then know that truly what I'm saying is the truth. That so it's becoming messier.
Yeah.
We should just allow him, to rest, because all these forensic things that they're trying to do, that
investigation,
they left him on top, he fell and nobody attended to him for days and all of that. Just feel that it has happened. We lost a rare gem in Diego Armando Maradona, and they should just allow it be.
All right, so prosecutors trying to investigate malpractice. We'll see whether they come up with anything in the days to come. All right, so let's leave that and also talk about something Formula One.
Yeah.
I mean, that incident sent shockwaves throughout the whole world. We were watching Formula One, and I mean the flames and everything, and a lot of people were scared. Was this guy going to lose his life? Formula One is launching an investigation into all that happened. And first, I'm thanking God that nobody died.
Yeah.
But it was a real scary moment. And I think they're doing the right thing, looking at the circumstances surrounding this particular incident with Grosjean.
Guess what? One of the greatest Formula One drivers as we speak, Lewis Hamilton, who has equaled the record of Michael Schumacher, and this Roman Grosjean were people who kicked against the halo, which is the protective, after the incident happened to Jules Bianchi. And they said, we don't want this thing, but they insisted. The likes of Chase Carey, who were organizing Formula One, said, you must.
This must be there. Yeah.
And that was what saved this summer.
All right, so that's what saved him, and hopefully we'll see what they come up with in the investigation. The FIA and everybody's going to probe the situation, so we'll see what happens and whatever they come with. We want to end the show talking about Europa League, and let's see the results. We'll talk about it, and we'll see what happens. Europa League, I mean, the big teams, no surprises. They're doing the things you expect them to do. Especially the English teams. We'll look at some selected results. The way it is for now, Arsenal having problems in the Premier League, but not in Europa. 2-0 up against Rapid Vienna. Glasgow Rangers.
Shocking.
Well, shocking. Our two Nigerians, Aribo and Leon Balogun, train Standard Liège. You also have Nicosia up against PAOK Salonika. Granada and PS Eindhoven. It's goalless as we speak. Leicester too. I'm happy Wilfred Ndidi is back in the mix. So that's it. Okay, let's see. Yeah,
so I think, but you know, I mean, the thing about Europa League is that 24 matches tonight. We can't talk about them
all.
And the sad thing that people in Europa keep complaining about is you drop from the UEFA Champions League, you drop to Europa.
These guys have already played more matches.
They are happy that the perpetual Europa League winners, Sevilla, did not drop from the Champions League. They progressed to the round of 16, so there's no way back for them.
They should be careful what they wish for Real Madrid.
Because there's the United factor also. You saw United, they flunked a golden opportunity. After beating PSG, beating Rasenball, just get 4 points from Istanbul Basaksehir, and now they need to get a draw against RB Leipzig.
All right, so trying to see if there's any update. Okay, it's still the way. Nicosia, I think
things have improved. Standard Liège is leading Rangers now, and the Monia leading PAOK, and Granada losing at home. Way to their home against PSG Eindhoven. So we wait to see what happens at the end of it. But like I said, they move from this stage, they move into
round of
32 teams from the Champions League will drop and join them. And the way things are, I think is
okay. Napoli and AZ Alkmaar. Napoli currently leading in that one. Zoya up against Leicester. They're leading. Hopefully Leicester will do something about that. AC Milan not taking things easy at all.
Celtic cannot prove. I'm waiting for the sack of Neil
Lennon. I apologized the last time.
No.
And he said in this time
they've lost everything, even in cup games. So it's really shocking.
Bad. Ziverspor, ask Kadarwadu, up against Villarreal. They has some Chukways, but they're trailing.
Last Tottenham, 6-goal thriller.
Wow.
3-3.
That's interesting.
I know Tottenham will not, bat an eye on tonight's game. Their eyes are fixated on the London derby against Arsenal, and I'm sure Arsenal too will rest a couple of players in rapid win because there's nothing. But I was just shocked to see what I'm seeing from Celtic, one of the biggest teams in the Scottish Premier League,
and even in Europe. If you remember their glory days,
they've promoted and things are going out for them.
All right, so that's it. We've crossed the finish line on the show tonight, but I want to take the opportunity to thank Shemadi Ajidagwa for taking our time to be here. It's been a while, but it's good you're here. Maybe we get the chance to do this some other time.
Of course, I love to do this over and over again. And Yemi, I'm a big fan of Sports Night. I watch all the time, and you guys are doing a great job. So you can see more of me.
Okay, all right, that's a promise on live TV. Okay, we've crossed the finish line on the show. Like I said, I want to thank you for allowing us to be a part of the day. We're going to be here again next week. It's the last edition of the show for the week. I'm Untitled Chapter. Bye-bye.